Welcome to the Big O Money Show. Bill Altman here with co-host Tony Shore from Premier Advisory Group Studios right here in the Big O. Welcome, and I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July and 4th of July weekend and very safe, celebrating our Independence Day. Such an amazing thing. America is a fantastic place to be, and there's so many wonderful places around the world, but I don't think there's anything quite like America, any place quite like America. And so we'll talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk about markets. Overall, once again, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and you're getting prepared to get back to the grind. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had a great week. I've been really busy. That's part of my problem, been a little too busy for my own good. But, that's a good problem to have, Bill, right?
It is a good problem always. Yeah, we're about, just over a month out, I think 33 days from my middle daughter leaving us to drive her down to Tennessee. So the countdown is here. I know she's excited and probably a little nervous and maybe a little anxious. She doesn't show it. She's but dad certainly is. Let's put it that way.
I bet. I remember that when Adam first went off to college, it was tough. It was tough. I wanted to drive down there the first weekend he was there. Let's go see him.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah. And Grace, the youngest, so there's Michaela, who is 17. She'll be 18 in August. And Grace, who is 16. Grace is struggling with it. You can tell.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet.
You can just hear it. And, Grace wants to go down there right away. Like, book me a flight. I'm going, I need to go down there. I need to visit. I'm never going to have time. It's like, okay, let's hold on here. Like,
gotta give her a little room. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they're real close. So that's nice. I think about this holiday, this great holiday that we have, and you think about the barbecues and the fireworks and everything that we've been allowed to do here in America that so many places around the world you're not able to. There's countries that don't have food, they don't have water or electricity. They may have it, but it might be extremely limited on who gets it.
Or not clean, not fresh.
Or not clean, not fresh. Yeah. And, other countries that, are just very communist dictatorship situations.
Yeah.
You have all kinds of going. And here in America, we take it for granted what we get. I truly believe that. And I'm part of that too, by the way. I take it for granted because I don't always think about it. Except for this past week, I had a friend come in, and this friend so we met her, many years ago, 15 years ago at least. Okay. And her name is Wendy, Wendy Lee. Wendy owns, and her family, Kayla, Kala. I think she might say Kala, but this is white man Kayla. So I say Kayla Nails Spa Salon on 156th and Maple right here in Omaha. And she's been very successful. She has a permanent makeup studio as well, and they do a fantastic job. They are all about family. The family, all the family kind of lives close together, roughly in the same neighborhood. They all work together. They all seem to get along, is what I see. They come from Vietnam. They all came over legally. And a lot of it seemed like kind of one at a time. And maybe I'm not getting it 100% right, but it seemed like one at a time because it took like 18 years to get everybody over in her family.
Wow.
Right. And a lot of money to do so.
That's tough. Yeah.
She appreciates America more than any, I shouldn't say any, but it seems like she appreciates America more than anybody I know. Any American born person.
Yeah.
Any person.
Because we take it for granted.
We take it for granted.
Yeah.
So Wendy's in my office, and so she's done, she does the girls' nails and pedicure and mine, I'll admit it, it's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Spa day for Bill, I keep it clean. But she is, she talked to me the other day or a couple of weeks ago about Medicare, and her parents need to get on Medicare, and so she talked about coming in and meeting with me. And although I don't specialize in the Medicare side, I have a 10,000-foot view of it. I understand it, I get it, but I'm not the one that you want down and dirty in that Medicare side and writing and making sure it's the perfect plan for you.
You personally,
right?
But you have people there in the office that are.
Bill Kaiser, Brenda Dinan, they get it, they understand it, they've been doing it for 20 plus years. They know every plan, they eat, sleep, drink it. This is their primary business. They get it. Right. But I know, me being there with Wendy is important. And so Wendy a lot of times will help the parents with translation, right? Even though they can understand some, but they help with translation. She helps there. So she sits in a lot of these meetings. She's really kind of like the operator. She's the business person of the family.
Sure.
So she's there and her mom and dad is there. So they come into the office this past week. Brenda meets with them. And I'm there as well in the conference room. We get through Medicare. We get everybody signed up. Everything's fantastic, right? Later in the day, I get this email. Not an email. I get a Facebook post from Wendy. Again, Wendy with Kayla Nail, Kala. For all those that are listening, please support her business and what she does because they're fantastic people. She says, I still remember the first time I met you and your spouse. You warmly said to me, welcome to America. That simple phrase carried a profound meaning for people like us who come from other parts of the world to this land of dreams and hope. We understand that in order to grow and succeed here, we must make our own efforts, keep learning, and gain experience from those who came before us. I feel incredibly fortunate to have you both on my side, supporting and walking with me through this journey. I truly appreciate and value this connection. I hope that the bond between my family and yours continues to grow stronger with each passing day. Wishing our shared business all the luck and success it deserves, and may it keep expanding and thriving in the time to come. 3 emojis, an American flag, a hands praying emoji, and a heart.
Wow.
These are people that truly get it because they came. We're really lucky where we're at. We're able to do really cool things like, jobs reports were way up, 147 versus 103 right in that neighborhood, new jobs. We're seeing, which might tamper expected Fed rate cuts. We think about all these other things, right? We have it pretty darn good, don't we?
Oh,
and that's why, when people say they can't find a job or they can't do this or they can't do that, stop, no, and don't. I don't want to freaking hear it.
Right.
Yep. Everybody has the opportunity here. If you want to know something about not having an opportunity, go to some other places in the world. You'll find that out real quick.
Yep. Yep. I've been to countries where they don't have what we have, and it's,
and so have I. And $4 a day salaries on average situations, or maybe even less. Or my dad going over to rural parts of Africa and Nigeria to help with the schools and the schools and parishes and clean water and everything over there. And the people, they don't know any different, right? But the opportunity is so less there than what we have here.
Yeah. So
as we celebrate this wonderful holiday, this holiday weekend that we've been granted, that we've been gifted, I will say, I think we all need to remember that and remember the people that come over, and it's tough right now, right? Because we also talk about, we have immigration issues, which I think could be fixed. I do not believe that you should be able to come over illegally and stay here with no documentation. I don't believe that because we can't count. We can't count. We can't figure out what you need. or what you can provide. And it's a tough deal, right? Because we know there's asylum cases. We know there's situations, in Venezuela, for instance, where the water is limited, the food is limited, the electricity is limited, if any at all. And people come over with their family to try to get to this, as Wendy said, this land of hope and dreams.
Yeah.
And so why the heck can't we have a system where we can get people over in a much better way, in a more efficient way, at a lot quicker way? Why does it take 18 years to bring people over here? People that contribute to our economy, like Wendy, more than the majority of Americans contribute to our economy. The majority of American born people right here in the United States contribute.
Yeah.
That's who we want here.
Yes.
Understand that.
Yeah.
And so you're telling me we can build cars that drive themselves, and rocket ships and everything else, and AI and all this other goofy stuff going on right now? We can do all that, but we can't build a system that vets people to come over,
that actually works, that keeps the wrong people out, and
Yeah.
lets people who can be productive or absolutely have to have refuge or asylum in, and not make it take forever for their families to get here. It's the system has been broken for a long time.
and there's no reason it can't be fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, are
And-
we in like the archaic dark ages? Like, what is going on? Get real. I don't buy it. This is
And-
so much deeper than Tony and I and any of us will ever understand.
Oh, for sure. And it's a complicated issue, obviously, because, how do you do that? How do you vet? How do you know who to let in? And how are you going to keep everybody happy? Some people don't want anybody who wasn't born here in. Well, you can't do that. That doesn't work. That's not
Well,
how the
because we all
country
come
works.
from immigrants. My great
Exactly.
grandparents came from Croatia. Other side came from Germany. So don't
Yeah.
tell me that
Yeah.
you don't want anybody else in. Stop.
Right.
Now. Stop.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
But
The
we want
problem
people-
is we either have one side or the other, where one side, just anybody, let them in, hundreds of thousands, millions of people coming over, could be anybody, not legally. And on the other side, you've got get everybody who wasn't born here out of the country. You can't have those two extremes. You've got to fix neither one of those extremes fixes the system. That's
Not
the
at all.
problem. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
Yeah, and we're an expanding economy. We're growing economy. Look at
Yeah.
our markets.
Yeah.
Our markets are doing fantastic.
Another
you like-
record high for the S&P this past week.
And whether you like President Trump or you don't like President Trump, he does what he says he's going to do. And I don't think anybody can debate that. You might not like what he says he's going to do,
Right.
but he does. And that's
Yeah.
different than the majority of most presidents, I would say.
Oh,
right?
yeah. There's
does.
never been another one like him.
And I think that's true with all of them. You know what I mean?
Well,
a lot
yeah,
of them
that's
go
true.
status quo,
Yeah.
and they follow the presidential,
Yeah.
white collar, whatever
Yep.
politician.
Yeah.
But this is different, and our economy does like it, and we've seen that over and over again. If you look at Dr. Ernie Goss with Creighton University economics professor, he studies this, and if you look at his charts, the 4 years with Trump, the projections look much greater than the 4 years with Biden. And that's with the new beautiful bill, as long as spending is reined in. So we have to rein in spending. Do people like Medicaid cuts? No, but do we need to, and I'm not going to say everybody doesn't like them. Some people say, yeah, cut all Medicaid out. We can't cut all Medicaid out, okay? Because people do need Medicaid. There's a reason for that.
Right.
However, there's also a lot of abuse. And so trying to figure out that. Back to technology piece. We have self-driving cars. You go down to Phoenix or Scottsdale or Vegas or wherever, and there's people sitting in the back seat with no driver in the front, and they drive themselves, but we can't figure out how to freaking rein in spending on Medicaid. Come on, get real. I don't buy it. It's deeper. It's politics. Somebody's
Yep.
getting paid somewhere.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's what has to stop. Right. And this is Independence Day. So we have to become independent of all of that garbage. right? That slows everything down. But right now our economy is moving. It's moving and shaking, booming. Now, housing on the other side, we talked a little bit about this last week and the week before. We talked about it several times, but it keeps creeping, right? And we're not necessarily seeing it as much in Omaha. We're seeing it a little bit more, right? But coastal, we're certainly seeing it. Days on market in Phoenix and California, holy smokes, we're seeing it quite a bit. And so that's something that if that does kind of implode on itself for a little bit, we could see interest rates, maybe the Fed steps in. Jay Powell says, hey, kind of starting to look for a successor. Trump's putting a lot of pressure on Jay Powell to step down, even though they're not supposed to be hooked up, the White House and the Federal Reserve. Come on, people. You know, if you believe that, I have oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you. Okay, come on now, right? We just, but it will happen. We will see this correction. We will see corrections in the market, like we've always seen corrections.
Oh, sure.
But then again, we're seeing we saw a good correction, right? We did. And now we're kind of bounced back from that. And I think there's new hope and inspiration as long as things can kind of get pushed through. Things for small businesses, and they say corporate tax cuts. Corporate tax cuts, and people have to understand that the CEO of a publicly traded company and a private company, really, but let's just say a publicly traded company, the CEO, their number one job description is to increase shareholder wealth, protect and increase shareholder wealth. This is Finance 101, 25 years ago at the University of Arizona Eller College of Business. Increase shareholder wealth, number one job. And so do you really believe if corporate tax cuts, if they decrease or they increased taxes on corporations, who's going to pay for it? It's going to be the consumer that pays for it. It's going to be the employees that pay for it. It's not going to be the shareholders that pay for it.
No, the cost of goods will go up. They'll lay off employees to help pay for it, or not give raises.
Taxes go down, wages go up, people pay payroll taxes go up, receipts go up for payroll, tax receipts go up. Cost of goods go down, people buy more stuff, right? Yep. So I truly believe that kind of works, but we have to rein in spending as well at the same time. We can't have it both ways. We don't want to jump over the next decade another $3 trillion in debts. We can't do that. We can't support that. We're paying we have $1 trillion interest payment.
Oh.
Over $1 trillion in interest alone on our national debts. That's a number, Tony. That's a real number.
That's real money, even to you, Bill.
Even to me. Even to me. Maybe someday I'll be able to trade my truck in. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's a number that people have a hard time wrapping their heads around. I mean, we hear these numbers thrown out and they really don't mean anything to anyone anymore. So nobody is really that concerned about it because you hear, $30 trillion, 1 trillion. Oh, that's 1 trillion so big, 30 trillion. What's the difference? 1 trillion, 30 trillion. But they keep kicking that can down the road. Something has to be done. And they've got to rein in that spending. That's for sure.
That's right. Yeah. And so if we can do that, if we can cut taxes, and I don't believe it's just cutting taxes for the wealthy, by the way. And I know that's what some news outlets say. It's just a wealthy tax cut. I believe it's definitely all the way around. And I do
that
also
standard
believe
deduction helps low tax people too. That standard deduction that's part of
it certainly does.
That really helps people out.
And if business taxes are cut, it's more that we can pay our employees. It's more that I can resurface my parking lot. I can put a new LED display up. And that helps our business, but who else does it help? How about the people that are laying the concrete? How about
Yeah.
the people that are putting up the sign, the people that are working here, contributing to their IRA, their 401ks? How about all of that that's going on? How the hiring that I can get done, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be greedy about this situation, nor do I think the majority of business owners or executives in publicly traded companies are. I don't think they're going to be greedy about it. Will they get wealthier or richer? I think so, probably, right? And that works. However, do they give back? And you and I both know a very successful business owner that he's very much, and his family, him and his wife, are very much about the better you do, the better I do. So I want to make sure you do better, and if you do better, then I'm going to do better. And I've been hearing this for so many years, decades, and I truly believe it. And I practice that same approach here.
And he approaches not only his clients, but his employees. That's his attitude for his employees. He wants them to do better, and his clients.
Right. And it's evident, and you can see it, and it works.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And this is a guy who independently is worth a lot of money and has been very successful. But you see guys like him and the Oracle of Omaha, who, with Berkshire Hathaway, and he's, I've heard he's the same way. He's really done a good job. And both of those people are also philanthropists. They give to the community. So that's good.
The Oracle, Warren Buffett just did another $6 billion.
I know. I read that.
Boys. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? That's amazing.
And that's what happens. Right.
Yeah.
And you give back, and that's the way it's wonderful world that we live in, this wonderful country that we live in. And remember that when we're having the barbecues and we're having the fireworks displays and we're at the lake, or you're with your family spending that time, or we have to unfortunately go to the hospital, let's say, or anything like that. Remember the health care that you get to receive here.
Yeah.
Versus some other places in the world where it may not exist, or if it exists, it certainly isn't what we have here.
No. Yeah.
And those are really, really important things. Some key market things right now. Again, we saw inflation tick a little bit up. And we see, which, if you want interest rates to drop, that's not necessarily a good thing, but it's still holding steady. It's still pretty good. We have the jobs reports came in much better than expected. So people are working, which is good. Unemployment rate came down. Again, a good thing, not if you want interest rates to drop, but I think it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Yeah.
We see our fixed income portfolios doing well. And when I say well, again, people are making money on much less risky investments.
Right.
We're seeing the Russell 2000, which is like a growth stock index. We're seeing that perform very well this year. So we're seeing all kinds of things happen, which is fantastic in markets. So there's a lot of great places to be our buffered index. What I do urge you to do is give us a call here at the Premier Advisory Group, 402-557-6730. Again, 402-557-6730, bigomoney.com, bigomoney.com, where you can find us on the World Wide Web. Otherwise, we're about out of time. Have a wonderful finalization of your 4th of July Independence Day weekend.
All right. Great show, Bill. Thank you for that. Listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of the Big O Money Show with our host, Bill Altman.